Listen, I got Officer Tatum was on his channel last night and said a number of things as I was listening to him. He addresses the church in a very strong way. I might not
What's
agree
going
with
on, Graham?
everything he said, but there were some things that he said that were true and a lot of passion, and that's fine. But I want you to hear because I think as a church and even being Christians, for those of us who are, there's some words in here that we need to at least take and think about and pray about. Let me find the part where he said this.
He had no prosecutorial power, but yet it was indicted. I wouldn't be shocked in the law and put their ashy elbows under the prison. Hillary Clinton should go to prison for what she did. Any politician, Trump included. If Trump out here cutting up knowingly and intentionally, then you go to prison, bro. That's what happens in America. But if he is being targeted from a banana republic, people should go to prison. Christopher Wray and all these other accomplices who are literally hiding information from the American people should be in prison. Now, I think they should go further than prison. They should be hanging off a tree.
Wow.
Because that's what we call treason.
Yeah.
You are literally weaponizing government institutions against the people. You're weaponizing the government against the people. In my opinion, those things deserve for people to go to prison for a very long time and even reach death penalty. Now, if Trump is wrong, hey, you got to do your time. Do the crime, do the time. But if he ain't, these people should have to pay for the decisions that they've made unjustly, unjustifiably. All of the above should be applicable here. It bothers me because we should not be going through this in America.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a crime, investigate it. Somebody go to jail, the investigatory body of the government should be impartial. And we know for a fact that Carter Page, Peter Strzok, or not Carter Page, I think it was Lisa Page, Peter Strzok, they were sleeping with each other, writing text messages saying, we need to get Trump out of here. Literally doing a coup in the FBI, communicating, partnering together to thwart a duly elected president.
Wow.
And they don't go to prison? But what are we going to do about it, America? What are we going to do about it? This is the time where you don't sit on your freaking hands and not put your name on that ballot, or not your name on the ballot, but put your vote in that ballot.
Mm-hmm.
If you are sitting home and you're refusing to get in the election process, you're refusing to vote, you should be ashamed of yourself. We've allowed these people to take over America.
He's also gonna start. This is the part where he starts addressing the Christians and the church. Some things he said he's about to say, I actually agree with. Some of them I don't. But and again, he's entitled to saying them. But it's just these are some powerful words. Brace yourself.
We've allowed these people to indoctrinate our children, and we've been sitting on the sideline like a wet napkin, being cowards. The church has failed. This should be the time of a reconciliation and a call of action for people that claim to be Christians. You let these people run through our country. You let them push their agenda while you sat there and you were a coward. And you collect your paycheck, you collect your tithes and offering, and you ain't preaching no truth. You let them run up in the church You let them run amok during politics and you did nothing. And you claim to represent Jesus. You be ashamed of yourself. These gummy bear Christians, these pastors with no spine, talking about separation of church and state. That is a lie from the pit of hell. And you have no discernment, and you need to take your clergy collar off, take your pastoral license and burn it, because you are a complete idiot if you think that there's a separation of church and state. Look at the founding documents. On the money, it says, "In God we trust." In our Pledge of Allegiance, what part of God is not incorporated in the very foundation of the country? How is it that we have inalienable rights given to us by who? God. Written in the foundation of our country. And you lukewarm Christians are sitting there cowering in the corner because you're afraid of the LGBTQ. Grow a pair. Jesus wasn't a weenie. Jesus wasn't a coward. What Bible are you reading? The man was controversial. He stood up for truth, and they killed him over it. Y'all are afraid to offend somebody. He went to death by way of a cross to stand up for what's right and tell the doggone truth, no matter if they liked it or not. And y'all afraid to offend your fickle friend who won't go to bat with you no matter what. And you're afraid to offend them. You got people that's in your family, your friends, that live in a homosexual lifestyle, and you're afraid to at least tell them the truth. You don't got to hate them. You don't got to be mean to them. But you can tell them the truth. I don't understand it. And then we wonder, how did we get to this point today? How we see the military pushing gay sex. That's what that is. Pride Month is gay sex. It don't matter if you're dressing up as a girl or a boy, it's gay sex. That's what they're pushing. That's their whole agenda. They're pushing it to lead to pedophilia. And if you don't see it at this point, you're asleep behind the wheel. They started out saying, let's love, be loved. Then they started out saying, let's redefine marriage. And now they don't want to just redefine marriage. Now they want the pastor to marry them. And not just the pastor to marry them and the cake maker to bake their cakes. Now they want you to love them. Now they want you to be gay. And if you ain't gay like them, or you don't support everything they do, you are homophobic. You're anti-gay. You're a hater. You're a bigot. You're evil. And then after they done you enough without consent, now they're going for the young ones amongst us. And then they're indoctrinating our children, flashing pornographic images to them in the school books, having men sexually provocatively dressed as women going to the school with his wang out, talking to your kid, reading them a book. And a preacher can't come in there and read your kid a book. A priest can't read your kid a book, but a gay man who's lost can go in there and read your kid a book. And you take it and you take it and you take it. Now they stripping and doing and putting porn in the schools. And y'all still sleep. Pastor still won't talk about it, especially in the black church. Still won't talk about it because it goes against the Democrat Party. They're the ones pushing it. They're the ones advocating. And you're afraid to like the Republican side because you've been brainwashed your whole life to believe that they are racist and they don't love the people. Should be ashamed of yourself. Should go and research and study something. Instead of watching Kardashians, you should be studying the truth of what's going on in this country. And I know this is about Trump. I got the video ready to play.
Yeah, I mean, These are some strong words. I agree. I mean, there were a lot of shots fired. A lot of shots were fired. Some things he said here, I agree that I cannot say even admit that I find myself guilty of some of it. Um, yeah, I mean that's something like I've said. These are things you need to, as a Christian, to take with you and go pray about, and make some decisions. I do have some things that I think was off his statement. I could push back on a few things, but for the most part, he's correct. So let's just leave it as that. Take those words and go do some praying and thinking about them.